I think it's pretty obvious by now that I have been utterly obsessed with Moonlight Peaks. However, there is no denying that there has been a few bugs here and there. Thankfully though, the developers have listened and last night they released their first major patch. So I'm going to go over all the changes that you should know. Don't forget to subscribe if you want more Moonlight Peaks content, but let's get into the video. The update on the 15th of July wasn't the first update since the game launched. On the 10th, the developers released a tiny little patch which addressed some player issues such as the short freezing and where players got soft locked during a new card sequence for Nocturna. But this patch is patch 1.1.41, that is a mouthful, and this one is much larger and it's addressed some key player concerns and issues, and it's also added in some quality of life features which I'm never going to complain about. This update is currently available for all PC players, you just need to download it. However, it is going to be rolled out on the Switch and the Google Play platforms very soon. They just have to wait for the relevant approvals, I believe, before it can go live. The first thing that you will notice is, hopefully, fingers crossed, improved loading times for all scenes. I have seen frequent comments on my videos and things about loading screens being long, and some people have even reported that it takes about a minute on the Switch, that is extraordinary. As a PC player, I have noticed that some of the loading screens are a bit longer than some similar games. However, it does seem that Switch players have really struggled. So hopefully this is going to be a huge improvement for performance on all platforms, not just the Switch. House storage is also going to be now available from your entire plot. This includes when you're in your barns and also greenhouses. I've logged on this morning and played maybe a day or two sneakily, and this essentially means that you can be outside on your farm, just press the relevant button and ta-da, your storage will open. This really does tie in nicely with the loading screens because this reduces the amount of time we were previously taking going in and out of our homes. And yes, I am a very forgetful person, and it's absolutely going to be a game changer for me because I spent so much time going in and out of that house. I think it will also potentially come in handy when you want to go to decorate your farm a little bit, because I like to fill up my inventory and decorate with what I've got in there as opposed to having to kind of run back, grab more items and then decorate. So that's good. On the topic of storage, there is also now a quick transfer button. If you're playing on PC, this is going to be the left shift button by default. And thankfully, it does tell you that in your kind of left-hand corner of the screen if you forget. This was something that I've noticed with the game. They don't always tell you what the controls are on the screen. I don't know whether that's to kind of make it feel a little bit cleaner, but when you're first playing a game, it's really nice to kind of have that prompt or reminder on the screen. So I'm glad that they have added this. Moving items in and out of storage before was a little bit slow. Sometimes it popped up with the option to kind of ask how many you wanted. There was a little bit of a workaround for this. People told me to press shift and it would kind of remove that kind of option to put the quantity in away, but it seems like they've gone that step further, making it even quicker now. So it's definitely going to be less tedious having to put items into our storage. If you have been circling the internet, maybe watching a few YouTube videos about Moonlight Peaks, you may have seen that there was an infinite item glitch circulating, and this essentially allowed players to duplicate items. I will be honest, I was sent this. I didn't look too much into it as I didn't want to ruin my save file. I played Dinkum in creative mode, and I won't lie, that totally ruined the story for me a little bit, so I didn't want that to happen again with Moonlight Peaks because I'm really enjoying all of the storytelling and kind of working. That grind is definitely something I love in a game, so I really didn't want that to happen here. But my guess is that this point in the patch notes where they say they have fixed an issue where higher quality items placed in decorate mode would not be removed from inventory relates to kind of that duplication. But as I say, I didn't tempt myself, so I'm not 100% sure, but either way, this has been fixed now. It has been confirmed. I've seen reports from the community saying that you won't be able to do this glitch anymore. There's no way to kind of get that infinite option of the items. So now you're just going to have to earn money the good old-fashioned way, unfortunately. I will admit what I did do though, I was a bit naughty and I did craft a few extra cooking recipes on stream, as there was a glitch where the higher quality items or the lower quality items weren't counting when you were cooking. So I did craft quite a few kind of ginger teas and all sorts just to give myself that extra stamina boost. I didn't go too crazy though. I think I was quite well refrained from doing that. After testing this glitch this morning, I can confirm that this has also been fixed as well, and they did put this in the patch notes, so no more willy-nilly cooking for me. You may have also seen me complaining about the bug catching in the game and the stamina in my previous videos. My main criticism about this was that when you swiped your net and you missed the bug, your stamina would still deplete, which I thought was very unfair. And obviously there's soul blobs in the game, some of the bugs are quite harder to catch. Also, I do think that when you're playing on keyboard and mouse, it's a little bit harder to kind of sneak up on the bugs. So overall, I wasn't happy with it, but they have addressed this criticism, so it's now been fixed where your bug net, and if you use it and you miss a swing, your energy isn't going to be consumed, which very grateful for that. I know a lot of players have been struggling with their stamina, so hopefully this tiny change will help a little bit. If you haven't yet unlocked embroidery, it is now going to unlock sooner, and this is to allow NPCs to go on embroidery dates sooner. I'm not gonna lie, I have unlocked it, but I actually do need to do some embroidery. There are just so many other priorities right now, but I like the way that they've addressed this because it is kind of a key activity in the game, or a side activity. I'm not gonna say it's the main one, but obviously if it does tie into the dates as well, then it's quite important that we do get it earlier. Sticking with the date and love theme, if you got stuck during the lovage gift exchange dialogue, that problem should now be fixed. And if you have tried to give a friend seaweed and got stuck as well, this should no longer happen. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't tried giving anyone seaweed, so let me know if it is anyone's favorite. You may have noticed some NPCs also didn't respond at all to your gifts, which is just plain rude. I think Ludo did this to me, but now that should all be resolved. There are no more rude NPCs or ungrateful NPCs apart from Null. I think he's always going to be rude. The Moonlight Ball also had an issue where the crowning ceremony also took very long to trigger or not start at all. I unfortunately was a victim to this, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed. I was really looking forward to this, but now I know that in year 2 it's all gonna be fixed, and it's something to look forward to, I guess. There was also an issue with Kim's first heart event, which could cause time to pause kind of indefinitely until you restarted the game, so that has all been resolved. And Aris's heart event was also showing sparkles in the tailor shop, but actually this should have just been the town. I've seen a couple people moan about when NPCs are sat on the bench and you can't really interact with them. Well, this has been fixed for Orlok. He should now be a lot easier to talk to. There were also some changes to the cutscenes and the triggers that were applied to them, as they were a little bit broken. This applied to scenes such as the dead crops and the crow introduction, and these kind of caused other cutscenes on the plot not to trigger. So this should all be ironed out now, and there should be no real problems. You may also have noticed that the tree seeds previously showed that they grew in all seasons, and that has been adjusted because now they only show when their produce actually grows instead of the seasons that the tree can grow, which makes perfect sense to me. I'm not bothered that the tree can grow all year round. What I want to know is when you're going to give me the blood oranges. Alongside this, if some of your crops and trees didn't finish growing, then you should no longer experience this. Everything should be growing healthily. An issue with the performance of the beehive when placed inside a building has also been fixed. I honestly hadn't even thought to place one inside yet, but it makes sense as you can place flowers inside too. There are a few decorating things as well. For example, when you upgraded your house previously, some of your content in the storage crates could get lost. There is also a fix applied to when you upgraded your house, some of the items you have placed down lose their quality, so that's been resolved as well. I've got a couple more miscellaneous things. Firstly, the Nocturna card reward not being granted after inspecting the board has been resolved, and your Howl Kitten not being able to dig the spots near the shore has also been fixed. If you didn't know, you can obviously use your Howl Kitten to dig as well. Also, if you got stuck picking flowers in the pink grove, you should be okay to resume your foraging. And for a bit of fun, they have also added more vampire sketches from Brooke. There are a few more technical changes which might apply to some players. For example, the Steam Deck controls defaulting back to keyboard and mouse has been fixed. There were also issues where you could not interact with anything on your gamepad, and that's been solved as well. I think this is also a Steam Deck issue, but where you were trying to bind multiple actions to the same input, you will be able to do that now. I have done that for my action key, and I do recommend doing it. As someone who gets tired of constantly clicking your mouse, if you're playing on keyboard and mouse that is, then I do appreciate having a button on my keypad for an action key as well. There is also a specific bug fix for the Switch 1 and 2 where the L and R buttons were not working properly, but that has also been resolved. This list is obviously not exhaustive and it isn't going to tackle all of the known issues, and the developers have been quite open and honest with the current issues. You can see it on the Steam page, they're quite good at keeping things up to date in the Discord as well, so I do recommend joining if it's something that you want to keep your eye on. They have also reassured players that they are still working on the other bugs, so hopefully we're going to see another patch in the near future. But overall, I'm really grateful that they are listening to the community and making these quality of life changes. It is really going to affect how I play the game now. I hope you're enjoying playing, and let me know in the comments what other quality of life changes you would like to see in the game. Happy playing, bye bye!